Good morning. It's Tuesday, January 25th. And every time I open my computer up and I go to a different site, they're giving me this double check for verification. So the other day I went out to a site that I hadn't been to for a while to check on some things. And it asked me a question that I never answered. And then it wouldn't let me connect to the site. And now I'm going to go down and talk to the people because it was a Verizon site. And I don't understand why I couldn't get through to my own information. Because all of a sudden these people on the internet are going crazy with this double checking, and they ask you who was your last girlfriend or what was the best place you ever went to. That's crazy. It's very crazy what's going on in there. But then again, this weekend, in the football games, this might have been the greatest football weekend of all time. Because the football games, they were all decided, at least 3 of them were decided, and it would last-second field goals, and then the other game went into overtime. And that was a crazy game because it was tied with 13 seconds to go. The Kansas City Chiefs managed to kick a field goal to tie the game, and then they won the game in overtime. So it was a very exciting football weekend if you were into football. But there's something else that's going on in this world that we ought to talk about and review, and it happens to be a health issue. And they're all ranting and raving about having these K35 masks, the KN95 masks and the N95 masks. And it turns out that the CDC has just told everybody that 60% of the masks, the N95 or the KN95 that are on the market, are counterfeit. How can that happen? How does that happen? Right? Because these masks are special. They're life-saving devices. Why in the world would anybody sell you a counterfeit mask? I'll tell you why. Because it doesn't matter what goes on in the real world. Everybody is out there to make a buck. And there are many, many people. And of course, since there's 7 billion people on the earth, many, many people could be 5% of the population. We're a huge amount of people who are scammers. And they have the perfect vehicle for scamming. It's social media. So everybody's crazy and they have to get these KN95s or the N95s, and they go online and they find a site that's selling it for X. The other site is selling it for Y. There's no real way to check that these masks are not counterfeit, And even though when you are told to get this mask, whichever one you choose, it should provide a good fit, fitting closely to the face without having any gaps in the edges or around the nose, and be comfortable when worn properly so that you can keep it on when you need to. That's what the advertising says, that they're going to give you this mask. But maybe it's not made of the proper materials. And I don't even know what they're going for. I don't know how much it would cost to buy these masks. I haven't done that thing. And then we have the organization NIOSH, NIOSH. That's the National Institute of Safety and Health. And this organization is supposed to be checking up on all of these sites and verifying that they are legitimate and that the masks are not counterfeits. And they're also supposed to be checking on all the respirators that are out there. And you're supposed to get yourself a NIOSH-approved respirator. But NIOSH can't possibly cover all the sites and all the things that are going on out there in the internet. You think they have enough people? No, we never have enough people. So NIOSH is not able to check all these sites to make sure that the products that they're pushing on the marketplace are legitimate. And whose fault is that? It's our government's fault, of course. It's the fault of NIOSH because they don't have enough people. And maybe that's not the fault, because given the situation right now, I don't know if you can ever have enough people. And then people don't want to go to an office, or they don't want to be with a lot of other strangers and everything. There's supposedly supposed to be a label on all of these respirators also that indicates that NIOSH has approved it. The NIOSH label will be in the package with the equipment or on the package itself. But how many people know? How many people really know about looking for the NIOSH label? And NIOSH, as far as I know, doesn't have anything to do with the masks. Wouldn't it be wonderful if there was an approval methodology to make sure that you weren't getting a counterfeit mask? Wouldn't it be nice to have a NIOSH label on the mask itself? It would be. But that would be too far ahead of the game. I mean, these people who are out there scamming certainly don't want a label that certifies that their mask is 100%. Unless they create the label themselves. How about that? I sell you a counterfeit mask and I put a counterfeit label on it. What a wonderful situation that is, right? So this is typical. It's typical of what's going on. We are so busy and so confused right now and so afraid of everything that we can get conned. We can get conned all the time, and we don't have enough people to protect us. Because the people who are protecting us are just like we are. They are in the path of COVID. They can get sick. They can't stay on the job regularly and do the work they have to do. So it's up to us all. It's up to all of us to help ourselves. It's up to all of us not to get fooled by the ads that are out there selling these counterfeit materials. And I know you can be a desperate person and you need to get masks and you're told to get the KN95 or the N95 and you don't know where you get it, but you can handle the computer. You're versatile enough to get on the computer, so you look for it and you find it and it's a counterfeit. And what are you going to do about that? You can't prove it. You can't get it back. Probably these companies that sell these counterfeit masks, they're online for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and then they're gone. They've emptied their counterfeits and they're on to something else. So it's the usual story. Caveat emptor. Buyer beware. I don't know if we're being aware. But I do know I'm getting pestered by all of these banks and companies that I deal with online with this double verification that I am the person I'm supposed to be. And then they're asking me dumb questions because I never answered that question. I have a list of all the questions and I have a list of all the answers, and I'm finding that they create questions that they never asked me. So all in all, I'm going to tell you to be careful, and if you get a 95 or a KN95, make sure it's the right kind. Make sure it's a real one. I myself am having some other masks, and I got a very nice mask from the Y that fits nice and tight and it's got some kind of material on it, so I'm happy. So I leave you with that this morning. It's another morning in paradise. Bye.